Caesar, as you repeatedly said, do the inquiry, who am I, you know? Can you hear me?
Yeah, let me raise the volume because, again,
Hello?
yeah,
All right. Just, you repeatedly said, just to be as you are and do the inquiry, who am I?
if you remain as you are, you don't need to do the inquiry.
Yeah. Well,
But the
I,
inquiry is
I was,
basically to remain as we are in a way. Yeah.
yeah, well, just to, yeah, that subtle sense of I have to kind of still inquire, you know? I used the who am I, but I did it there and I had an explosion through the back of my head, sort of thing. That never happened that way before.
Is
But there was a
experience
lot.
is experience
Huh?
is experience gone?
Yeah.
Then it's
It's gone.
not real, it's not worth paying attention to it.
Yeah, but there was one thing when I'm meditating, there's a lot of energy in the head space. So that's why I do the who am I and who's feeling this. It seems so simple, but it seems very powerful somehow to do that.
Is to who am I means to remain self-aware, self-conscious, conscious of
Yeah.
conscious of being. And to be more interested in being conscious of being than being conscious of anything else.
Mhm, mhm,
It doesn't matter how amazing, fantastic, extraordinary
mhm,
the experience may be, energy explosion here and there and this and that. All that comes and goes, it appears and disappears.
mhm.
But I remain. The
Yeah.
I,
And
the I or I am is constant. He hasn't gone, he hasn't come from anywhere, he hasn't
no,
changed, he hasn't
yeah.
suffered any modification, it is the same.
And that fear of death is just a thought. It's just, yeah,
Yes,
yeah. It means nothing. Yeah.
this is a mental sabotage, self-sabotage, ego,
Hmm.
self.
Hmm.
Oh, he produces something. Oh my God, I'm gonna die out of
Mm.
this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it does it to remain there as a real entity,
Yeah.
as a real self. Actually, mine is body identity. I am the body. That is the mind. That thought is the mind. What I love about this knowledge is its simplicity and how easily, how evident it reflects itself in one's direct experience. It doesn't matter how ignorant you might be, you can understand this, right? The mind is a conglomeration of thoughts. Apart from thoughts, there is no mind. The first thought that arises is the thought I. After the thought I arises, all thoughts arises. This is what Ramana Maharshi said, right? So the mind is a conglomeration of thought. Mind is thought. What thought? Fundamentally, I. I means what? Body. See, I am the body. That I is a thought,
Hmm.
which creates the illusion that
Yeah.
oneself is
Such
the
as,
body, that one's reality is limited to the body. It's a limited idea, it's a limited thought. That's all.
hmm.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, power cut.
Yeah.
I'll let you.
Give me 1 second to bring
Yeah.
the lamp.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's hope for Or it's not really serious stuff. Where's my phone? Oh, oh, back. Good. So, where were we? Yes, thought, mind.
I am the body idea. Yeah.
Yes, there is
That.
let's put it in this way. Here is consciousness, and here is
Mhm.
the body. Can you see my face? My face in between these two, right? So the mind is that which appears between consciousness and the body. And that is the thought, I am this. That creates the idea that this is a separate entity, and that this one is limited to this one. That's all.
Mm.
I am the body. I am this, that, like this, like that. I am the subject, you are the object. The I and you subject and object relationship is based in body identity.
And the body feeling here, it I had to just surrender to the fact that it's so subconscious and ingrained that I
The,
have to
the
just do the
mind,
inquiry.
the mind is the one that claims to be experiencing the body.
Yeah.
So
Well,
all these experiences here and there, this and that, this is mind talk.
hmm but the
Consciousness,
body feel.
consciousness doesn't experience a thing because for consciousness there is no other apart from it that can be possibly experienced, right? The subject-object relationship doesn't exist in consciousness. It exists in the mind, and it is the mind itself. So consciousness is not concerned about, not even concerned about the ego. It's unaffected by the presence or the absence of the ego. Consciousness is always absolute perfection. Let's put it in that way. Absolute reality. It doesn't suffer any modification. It remains shining its on its glory always as it is, untouched by anything. So anything else apart from that glorious absolute existence is just mind stuff. It's just thought.
Yeah. And that mind is still going on, so I just keep with the inquiry. Like, but the would I be correct in when there's body feeling, just stay with the inquiry, and if the mind comes up, just
So
keep asking, who am I?
why only when there is this feeling or that feeling? The inquiry must be self-awareness must be constant.
Oh, I mean, when I'm sitting here, yeah, yeah, yeah. It it
Self-inquiry,
it 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 goes on sort of automatic during the day.
in fact, it
Yeah,
has to when it goes on automatically, effortlessly, it's called self-realization. Because self-inquiry means self-awareness. Is to look at oneself.
yeah.
So the path itself is the goal. It is not clear at the beginning
No, no, I suppose.
because we believe we are already self-aware, but we are not aware of ourselves as we actually are. We believe to be the ego, and then we look at oneself. The oneself that we're looking is oneself as the self. That the inquiry brings the attention of the mind because we have to speak like that because the mind is
I
believed to
know.
exist,
Yeah. hmm
right? The sage has to seduce the mind, right? Because apparently there is a mind that is there and needs to be seduced. That's all. So when I look at myself, I am the self, but I believe to be the mind.
hmm
Then when I look at myself, I realize that myself is not the mind, means that myself is not the body.
Well, the the body identification just seems to be automatic, and but that's fine. I just keep inquiring. I think I'm on the right track. That just keep inquiring and just let it go the way it's going. And I think shouldn't the body identification automatically drop?
It depends upon the tendencies.
I think the tendencies, Caesar, probably it is what it is.
It depends upon how easily I get distracted, how I am. What is a word for that? Propense is that word. This is a word in Spanish, but I don't know. It's
Predisposed.
predisposed, yes.
Mm.
Pay attention to something. See,
That's not too bad.
to be interested in something, right?
Yeah.
So it
Well,
depends. See, depends how pure the mind is and how deep is the longing for self-knowledge. That's my experience. Okay. I was told to do the inquiry once. I didn't ask one more questions during the talk, during satsang. I was told, do this. Bring the attention from the object to the subject, from the seen to the seer. The seen will disappear, the seer will disappear, and what remains is the act of seeing, experience as simply being. Seeing means consciousness. Being consciousness. What remains is being consciousness. Right? That's it. That was it. People keep on asking questions, and I was not interested neither in the question of the other people, nor in the answer to other people, because that is none of my business.
Mhm.
And I didn't know that I could do that there and then. Otherwise, I'll go for it there. When the talk finished, this man, Mr. Ratanlal, came to me and said, "You are very rare. Not special, not higher, not superior, rare. Rare means it's very rare that somebody doesn't get lost in the labyrinth of theories, concepts, and philosophies and go straight to the source. Because already there were glimpses of that, but I wanted that to become permanent. I didn't know how. Then in the afternoon, I sat in a place, and it took me, I don't know, I would say just for the sake of saying something, 15, 20 minutes to ponder what he said. I was pondering in my conversation with him. The object, the subject, right? The seen and the seer. That is the seen and this is the seer. Okay, the attention goes to the seer. Then I start paying attention to myself. And then something from within. I don't know how to. The only thing that I can say is a power, a current, or something that somehow it didn't appear, it revealed itself and absorbed temporarily the ego sense, the body identity. It was evident that I am not the body. What I am, I don't know. But that I am not the body, for sure. What I am, I don't know. Right? I know that I am. What I don't know. I will never know what I am. I can call it consciousness. I can call it by, this is just a way to name it, but to know it is impossible. We can only be it. So knowing it is being it. So it took me 15, 20 minutes to ponder about it. And the actual disappearance of the ego is a radical thing. It doesn't go gradually, it's gone. It came back in a form of a spiritual ego and all that, but you can deal with it easily later on. You may need some guidance. You may need somebody to tell you that get rid now get rid now of your stupid spiritual ego, self-realization, and all that stuff. Get over your own self-realization also, right? Who realized the self anyway? I, Caesar, realized the self. How could it? Yeah. Is the mind is I am the body. So, means if I believe
yeah,
if
that's
I believe
happening.
I am the body, how can the body become aware of the self? It's impossible.
It's impossible. Yeah. I'm either like if I am the body, why
But
the hell am I
the body is
searching?
not even self-aware.
Well, why am I searching if I'm the body? It's crazy.
It appears to be self-aware because of of awareness. See, the awareness of the consciousness that the body has is because the consciousness itself.
Mm.
Because somehow the light of consciousness gets reflected there.
So the feeling of the body doesn't have to go, only the identification with the
Nah,
body.
exactly. Body feeling, body consciousness is as far as self-awareness or self-realization is concerned, the absence of body consciousness or the presence of body consciousness is irrelevant. It might seem to be more powerful or intense experience because there is nothing, there is only I. There is nothing that I can call, there is nothing else that I can call I, right? There is nothing that I can identify myself with. But everybody lose body consciousness in deep sleep. Is the ego gone when they wake up? No, right? You can experience Nirvikalpa Samadhi for 2000 years. And when you go back to body consciousness, the ego is exactly the same as it was 2000 years ago because the tendencies are not fully destroyed. So, what is important is the absence of body identity, not the absence of body consciousness.
Okay.
Mm. If there is body consciousness, still it's evident I am not the body.
How is that?
How can I explain it? How can anybody explain it? It becomes evident that the body is not I,
Okay. Okay.
that I is the self, consciousness, call it whatever you like.
Okay.
That's why I said before, I cannot speak about I don't know myself in a regular way. See, neither objectively nor subjectively. Because I is neither a subject nor an object. It is single. That is why all the sages and saints insist it's a matter of direct experience. No explanation or description will ever help you. You will see me eating in a restaurant, right, through the glass. You will not, your hunger will not be satisfied. You can read the menu, your hunger will remain the same. You must test it by yourself. Then you know how is it.
Okay.
I even try to avoid giving any description because then the mind will create its own
Okay.
experience similar to it. I am I. That's the meaning of it. I am, I am. Who are you? I am what? I am that I am. That I am that I cannot speak about. I am as I am. See? This, what is written in Ramana's book, I dash I, the I, it means
Mm.
exactly that.
I was reading that. Actually, that's what I was reading just there. Yeah. Yeah.
It is written I, but
Mm.
in their language is aham, aham, aham. See, aham means I am. See, I am means I am. I cannot go further than that because if I say I am, even if I say I am consciousness, it's not accurate.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah. And you have to speak like that, don't you? You can't say anything else.
you
You
can't.
can't say I am consciousness because you just can't.
You can say so, but
But
it's
it's
it's just
so misleading.
another word to refer to oneself.
Mm.
Because it is oneself, it is I or I am.
It's duality. I am consciousness. It's like duality. Yeah.
No, 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 no. It's no duality. It's just a way. I am this non dual consciousness. It is called consciousness because what I am is always aware. It's never unaware. There is no unawareness or unconsciousness. If everything disappears in deep sleep, how do I know everything disappears? I must be present, right?
Mm.
Aware of the absence of everything. But I am not aware that I am. Not because it's not that I am not aware that I am. It's not clear what I am in deep sleep. Because myself is covered by mind in a state of ignorance, total darkness. See? The mind in a potential latent state, in a state of nothingness. Now it's in a state of everythingness, right? Now there is everything, deep sleep is nothing. Now it's manifested, in deep sleep is unmanifested. So our reality is covered by the mind eitherwise, by total
Oh.
ignorance, total darkness, or total knowledge, total light. Call it what it is. It's just words to deliver this knowledge, that's all.
Mm.
So
It's always there, yeah.
deep sleep is called veil. That's the veiling power of the mind. And
Hmm.
this is the projecting power of the mind. Both powers, both powers of the mind covers one's reality. This is why it's not that we are not aware in deep sleep. We are not the awareness that we are in deep sleep. It's just
So
it's
we're
not
we're
clear.
not we're not realized in we're self-realized in deep sleep. We're still
Yes.
ignorant in a way.
No,
Yeah.
it's never ignorant of itself. It's never ignorant of itself. It seems to be.
Yeah. Okay. The body identification.
It's
I
all.
can't say for sure. It's still subtle, so it's what it is. Um, but during the day, it's so peaceful, Caesar. It's just wonderful.
It's just
And
quiet.
there's,
It's quiet mind.
huh?
This quiet
Oh,
mind.
it's beautiful at times, like, and it brings tears to my eyes sometimes, but that's still not it. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, but it's still, as you say, it's like the slippery mind when asleep. That's still there. I'm sure. That
There is a power that is dormant that will wake up and do the rest.
really.
Yes,
Well,
guarantee.
it happened there, so yeah, 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 yeah,
That's my experience.
yeah. There are things that happen by themselves, so that's kind of like a clue.
Everything is happening by themselves. The mind is not the doer. And the self is not the doer neither. It is called the self because of the presence of the self, everything can happen, but the self doesn't do anything. The self is just is. It simply is. Uh, it is
But
says that
doesn't it
the
doesn't
self.
it intervene? Does
No.
it?
What in what way the screen intervene on the movie, on the projection?
Yeah, but how is the inquiry done then? By the ego?
The, because of the presence of the ego, and because we believe to be the ego, we as the ego do the inquiry. The self doesn't need to inquire about Jesus. What absolute reality will be an absolute reality that is ignorant or become ignorant?
Of course, yeah, yeah, of course.
The sun doesn't stop being and shining because it is covered by the clouds. Its reality still is the same. You just cover. That's all. It's not obscured. If you look at the other side, it still is, right? If you could see the sun, you take a plane and go and pass by the clouds that are covering the sun. The sun, where is the darkness and in the? It's there exactly as always. See, it is just covered by a stupid thought, right? I.
Mm. No, there's still that mind is still there. That subtle mind, I know it's still there. Yeah.
The mind cannot destroy the mind. It's impossible. It will be a contradiction. See, for the mind to destroy itself, it has to be there trying to destroy itself. So it will demand the presence. That intention demand the presence of the mind. That demand keeps the mind present. Doesn't mean the mind has to surrender. Means to keep quiet. The self is beyond
Mhm.
quietness, has to be still. The rest is a matter of grace. Or call it whatever you like.
I totally get that. That silence is very powerful. Totally, yeah, yeah.
Not silence. Silence is powerful because silence is the self. But you're talking about the stillness. Don't mix up,
Stillness.
don't mix up
Sorry,
stillness with silence.
yeah.
Don't
Still
mistake
mind.
mind with consciousness. Consciousness is silence is consciousness. The consciousness has a monopoly of silence. It's absolute silence. The mind is either still or active. The mind is still or active in silence.
Mhm.
So the mind has to be as still as in deep sleep, yet aware,
Mhm.
conscious. And this conscious mind is reflected consciousness.
Mhm. I was reading something there about the reflection in that book, Ramina's book, the reflection of the sun in through a dark room off a mirror, and it reflected the light into a dark room. It's like that, isn't it? The sun reflects off a broken mirror into a room or something. It was saying
No,
that's the mind's reflective consciousness.
you will have to send me the text to see how it is because sometimes people
Yeah.
explain me what
Well, yeah, yeah.
they explain me what they if you read it literally maybe, but what I get here is maybe your own version of the story.
Yeah. I'd say when I read it,
Yes,
a broken piece of mirror is lying on the ground
a
in the open
broken piece
space
of mirror. Yes,
and in full sunshine. The
yes,
sunlight that falls on that piece of mirror is
yes,
reflected, and
yes,
the reflected light
yes,
enters a nearby,
yes.
dark room and falls on its inner wall. The ray from the mirror to the inside wall of the dark room is a reflected ray of the sun. By means of this reflected ray, a man in the dark room is able to see the objects inside the room.
By the light that is emanating from the mirror.
Yeah.
Yes,
And reflected, when seen on the wall, is of the same form or shape as the piece of mirror.
correct.
That's thoughts, isn't it? Or object thoughts that are seen, the analogy. But
Now,
the direct sunlight, the original light, the source of the reflected ray in the open space shines indivisible, single, all-pervading, and unlimited by any
now
specific form or shape.
the reflected light is the mind and takes the shape that appears to be the shape of the body. I am the body.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Body identification.
Mhm. That this is why people believe that consciousness appears to be confused by the body. The sunlight is not confused. Yeah. The Confucius is in the mind. It's a paradox because the self doesn't say I and yet is I. Somehow it will be recognized, realized as I. And that knowledge will be reflected in the mind. Since the mind is thought, that knowledge reflected in the mind and is as the thought I am I or I am that.
But the light is still reflected into the room. There's still body identification.
No. If I say I am that, there is no body identity. If I say I am the body, it's body identity.
So in the analogy of the reflected light in the room, how does self-realization occur in that analogy? The reflected light in the room realizes it's the sun.
No, the reflected light doesn't realize it is the sun. The knowledge of being the sun gets reflected in the mirror.
Ah, yeah. Okay, yeah.
If the mind is a reflection of the light of the self, and the mind is a thought, I am the body. So if the mind is thought, when we say this knowledge gets reflected in the mind, means is reflected in the thought, or as the thought, or as the knowledge, I am that, or I am the self. This is
Yeah.
why it is believed that the mind realizes the self, but it's not true. The realization gets reflected also in the self, in the mind.
Okay,
This
gotcha.
is what produces the ego enlightened. See, this is the last trap, the appearance of the self-realized being.
That's a tricky one because what do you do about that? That must be so, because the knowledge of the self is real and you are the self, but you're still in the room. Well, you're not, but
You are the body, you are the mind, you are everything, but you're also the self. So we know ourself, relatively speaking. We know only our illusoriness, not one's reality. Once we know one's reality, we know there is only I. Everything is I. Therefore, I alone am. There is no space to say this is there and this is that also. No. Maybe for the sake of communication, we may say many things, but
the spiritual ego, how like
it appears intellectually or experientially. It can be based in intellectual knowledge, bookish knowledge, or even based on direct experience. So the idea of being the I that realizes self must go. We are what has been realized, what is already realized, what cannot be realized, what is already realized, what already is. The illusion does not disappear. Disappear means the idea that it has separate existence. That idea disappears. And disappears when that from where the illusion is not separated from reveals itself as I. So if the illusion is not perceived as separate from I, it is also I. Therefore, I alone am. See? I alone exist. There is no other. There is no second entity called world or Maya. or illusion, or manifestation, or ignorance, or projection, or whatever name we want to give to it. Okay.
Okay, Caesar, thanks. So just stay with it.
Stay with
Yeah.
it. Have a look again to this recording.
Okay. Yeah, I will.
Because people nowadays don't know what happened. Maybe it's because I don't know what is the reason, but they have short memory. They forget so easily.
I like to go over it anyway because it helps a lot. Yeah, thanks.
It does, yeah. Either I have good memory or the words of my teacher produce such an impact that they are like written on a stone in my heart. Like,
Mhm.
I can quote word by word all what he said to me throughout all our the time that we spent together. If we listen wholeheartedly from the heart, the moment we need to be, this knowledge will come to your rescue. What? There's a meaning the guru will come to your rescue. Not the guru, the words of the guru will come to your rescue. Right?
Okay.
He corrected me once. We were in satsang and he asked me to answer a question. And I said, the person was actually it was a woman. And I think it was a Russian woman. And she was speaking what appeared to be a glimpse. And I replied, "You are one with that." And he basically jumped out of his skin, says, "No, you are that." See, not one with that. One implies one and the other. He says, "You are that."
Sharp. Sharp.
Mm.
I read some of his books from your website. Very good. I had to translate them to English, but I read some of it. Yeah.
You are that. After I remember the next day after a glimpse, I was still like the knowledge of being that was present, right? And then I found him in the streets of the ashram, and he asked me, "How is Caesar?" And without hesitation, I was not playing with words, trying to be spiritual. All these people talking about spirituality, this and that. I just was a sincere, honest, because that was my experience. And how is Caesar? I said, disappearing. I said, just disappearing. I said, straight away, we said, let him go. He said, he's not there. He only appeared to be there. And then when I was stuck in the I am that, right? In the I that realized that, and he, in a very stern way, is now remove your sense of separation from that. You are that. Means remain as that. Stop thinking, I am that, and identifying yourself with the thought, I am that. Be that. Be what you are. Stop thinking about it now.
Wonderful.
If you identify with the thought, I am that, then the knowledge of being that is gone. It's covered by that thought again. See, mind again covers one's reality.
Even during the last few months or something,
Hmm?
during the day, there would often be a time where before there would be this, during the inquiry before, there would be this feeling of nearly hopelessness, or can you get it? There's times where that should have come up, but it doesn't come up. These mind stuff hardly comes up much.
Sorry.
You know, the like
Sometimes,
the
sometimes,
feeling of
sometimes I
the feel
struggle. Sometimes I struggle because of the accent. Sorry, it's not this.
like sometimes before, maybe months ago, there would be maybe times of hopelessness on the search, maybe a feeling of irritation, a doubt, but that's virtually gone. And I'd be just sitting here, no inquiry, and it's just everything is fine. There's all that's gone, that hopeless thought and doubt as such, that heavy stuff.
Yeah, but the thought I still is there.
This thought I is still there, Caesar. Yeah, yeah.
That
But
that's okay. That this thought I, if it is if it is remains single, means not associated with any other thought,
absolutely, yeah. But the
then
root is still there. The root
yes,
is there.
and the root will be destroyed by the self. So you only can keep quiet, which is surrender.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm. Like Ramana Maharshi said, the only thing that we can do is to offer oneself as food for God. Instead of offering this as a sacrifice, instead of offering Him something, we must offer oneself. And then we realize that we are Him. See, that we are offering oneself to oneself. Because we believe to be the ego, we have to be spoken in that way. There is no other way to approach to the seeker. The seeker believes to be a seeker, believes to be the ego.
The whole lot has to go.
That's why this school of knowledge has been created. Hanuman, for example, right? He said, when I identify myself with the body, I feel like I am your instrument. When I identify myself with the mind, I feel like I am part of you. But when I look within, then I realize I am you. It's not that there is an I that is you. See, that I is that. See, there's no I am that. This is not a I that is that. Means that there is no I. See? Hmm? I am that means there is no I, there is that. Only that. That alone is. Guru Nanak also. See, the Parsis. I am coming from the light. The light is within me, and then I am the light. Where I is the light. It's not I am the light. There's no two.
There can't be two. There can't be two.
Or I am the light means there is no I, there is only the light. I am the light means there is no I, there is only the light.
That's easier to understand. I am the light because there can't be two lights. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We are the self, but for some reason, if there is any, we rose as ego, that's all. If there is any reason, meaning,
Yeah.
purpose, intention, or something. So there is the body, which is also no different than to say there is the world, there is the mind, and there is the self. And they are not three separate entities. They are one indivisible unit. That knowledge is actual realization. There are not three, but one absolute existence.
There be three. Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Isn't it? It's just so ridiculous. There could be three. Hmm? Oh, even there could be one is means two, doesn't it? I mean, they say that. Yeah. So it's mind is the first problem, not the body identification. Mind is body identification.
Mine is body identification.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
I
number
use
one is mind.
I wouldn't even say that there is a mind that identifies itself with the body, because that implies that the idea that there are two must be there before the idea of two appears. Mine is body identity. See? It just happens.
Yeah. 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 Has to be because when
That's
there's
all.
inquiry, yeah.
It just
Yeah.
happens. The sunlight is there.
Yeah.
And if there is an object on its way, if there is an object on the way to the light will get associated with the object and the shadow will appear. That's all. That's the way it works. The object is the body. See, when the light of the sun self, uh, gets associated with the object body, the shadow appears. Who is the shadow? I, the thought, I. And the shadow is identical with the object, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the shadow assumes the form of the object. If the light touches a tree, the shadow is the form of a tree. If the shadow, if the light touches the body, the shadow appears as the body. I am the body. See?
There was there was a feeling yesterday that the inquiry was turning into some sort of devotion.
It's devotion, it's not different.
What's that different?
Mm.
Really?
Because the mind is not attending to any object.
No. Before it was intellectual, yeah, obviously, but then it felt devotional. It just felt so.
It's only attending to itself means it is surrender.
That's devotion, is it? Yeah.
It cannot attend to the self because it doesn't know what the self actually
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. It's just it's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah.
So surrender, which is devotion, the surrender is the mother of wisdom, of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
So the mind, first of all, has to accept, at least intellectually, that it's not a separate entity. It has to give up its arrogance. But it doesn't know that power, the power that the uh, what that the mind depends on, right?
Don't. No.
So it doesn't know it, but it assumes by life circumstances, I am not in charge. There is something else, a higher power, higher intelligence. See, I am not the one. So it must recognize somehow the existence of the one. the one power, the one absolute existence, right? But it doesn't know it. This is why it cannot look at it because it doesn't know it. How can it know, see, look, search for what it doesn't know? So it has to surrender, which means it's not also looking outside. Looking within is not to the self, it's looking to itself. Because apparently the mind is within the body, right? In the brain somewhere. The mind is called the individual soul, like there is a soul in the body. This is another idea. So it keeps quiet means it surrender. Then when it surrenders, then that reveals itself. Itself, see, by itself, not by the practice of the mind or the mechanism or the techniques of the mind. It reveals itself by itself to itself. So the cloud cannot make the sun to appear. It's there. The cloud has to go.
Still a quiet mind, though, I'm sure. Yeah.
Be still and know I am that. So be still. This is what it says. And how can we call this a doing?
That came up today, actually. Be
If
still,
it
know
is
that I, yeah,
be still is the opposite of doing.
yeah,
Be
yeah.
still is just being. Then so for absolute knowledge, absolute surrender is necessary. Partial surrender at the beginning, see, has to become absolute surrender. Lo dejamos por hoy. Nos vemos mañana.